Westerly Lakes campsite is situated on the edge of the village of Wheldrake, around 7 miles from York. The route to the campsite is on large roads, so access is not a problem. Despite being on a good road network, the noise from the road is virtually non-existent, and the only vehicles we heard were motorbikes winding the throttle and the, I can only assume, boy racers, revving the hell out of their small engine cars with loud exhaust. The first thing you come across at Westerly Lake campsites are the most friendliest people ever. Jeff and Barbara are the nicest, most welcoming, most accommodating and approachable campsite wardens I have ever come across, and they immediately put you at ease. Westerly Lakes isn't a massive site, but there are a few pitches. Down the left-hand side of the drive, i.e. along the lake, there are 6 decent-sized, hard-standing pitches with a lakeside view. These are the prime pitches, and if you want one you usually have to book. I have only ever stayed on one of the lakeside pitches, but what I have seen of the other pitches on the site, all of the hard-standing pitches are level, well-drained and spacious. The electric pylons can be a fair distance from your pitch, depending on what pitch you are on, so you need a reasonable length electric cable. If you're in a motorhome, it is not possible to get too close to the one and only freshwater tap, so you're going to need a long hose. My 5 metre was nowhere near long enough, and whilst the 15 metre hose would have just about done the job, it was sat at home in the garage, which was not very helpful. Fortunately, I always make sure I have a 10 litre water carrier and funnel. Here we have the view from the pitch I had on my most recent visit to Westerly Lakes. Not too shabby, is it? The facilities block isn't fresh, modern, heated and refurbed every other year, but then this is not a large commercial site. If you want the top-end facilities, you will pay through the nose for it, like you do at any CAMC site, so it is obvious the facilities aren't going to be up to this standard. The toilets, sinks and showers are dated, but they are perfectly adequate and functional. The water from the hot tap actually runs hot and not tepid, as is the case with many campsites. The showers are spacious, powerful and hot, and the toilets are very clean. I have no problems with the facilities at this site, and whilst they aren't the best of any site I have stayed on, they definitely aren't the worst. I have stayed on some campsites with facilities I can only describe as squalid, and these sites cost more per night than Westerly Lakes does. All in all, the facilities do what they say on the tin, and I can't fault them. The site owners do a fantastic job of maintaining the facilities. The facilities block also houses an indoor washing up area comprising of 2 large sinks and draining boards. An inside washing up area is a bit of a luxury and nice to have during the cooler autumn months. The area isn't heated, but then does it really matter? The water is plentiful and hot, the area is clean, and the owners even leave a bottle of washing liquid in there too. The washing up area also contains all the tourist information, leaflets and pamphlets, bus times, local businesses, etc. This is all good stuff, especially since Westerly Lakes is an ideal base to explore York and the surrounding area. Many campsites I have stayed at have had visitor information on attractions miles away from the site, which is fine if you have a car, but not if you're not in a motorhome and rely on walking, cycling or buses. All of the tourist info at Westerly Lakes focuses on attractions that are very local to the area. Westerly Lakes is the perfect campsite for anyone who likes to fish. On site there is a small lake that is full of fish including carp, bream, roach and perch. Most anglers seem to focus on the carp, which is a bit of a faux pas because there are some large bream, decent sized roach and cracking perch too. My experience of fishing at Westerly Lakes has always been positive, and I've caught some real stonkers, with the best being a grass carp that tipped the scales at just under £15. Jeff has managed to achieve what most campsites with their own fishing lake have failed with, and that is catering for campsite residents and day anglers. There is no friction between the day anglers and the campsite residents, and there is a mutual respect and everyone plays nicely. The fishing lake was the main reason we booked Westerly Lakes all those years ago, and had it not been for my better half insistent on finding a campsite with on-site fishing, I would never have stumbled across this gem of a campsite. Westerly Lakes isn't just a campsite for anglers and those who like to fish. Every time I have stayed at Westerly Lakes there have been just as many non-anglers and in some instances more non-anglers than anglers. Westerly Lakes may be marketed more towards the fishermen, but don't let this put you off staying there if you don't fish. We paid £22 per night for a hard-standing pitch with electric hookup. The cost of the showers is included, and you can spend as long in there as you want. The fishing is, as you'd expect, an additional cost. If you are looking for a small, friendly, adult-only campsite that is peaceful, quiet, and close to civilization, Westerly Lakes is going to be right up your street. The owners are uber friendly, the facilities are clean and do everything they are meant to, and the site is immaculately maintained. Westerly Lakes is a campsite we have been to at least once a year for the last few years, and it is one we will continue to visit in years to come.